Welcome back. The program is still the Afia Morning Show this Monday morning, and like we said, it's quite an interesting show today. Fresh and troubling revelations have cast doubt on the academic credentials of Minister of Innovation, Science and Technology, Uche Nnaji. A 2-year investigation by Premium Times has culminated in the University of Nigeria, Nsukka, reportedly disowning the minister's Bachelor of Science degree in Microbiology and Biochemistry. In a letter dated October 3rd, 2025, the university was reported to have stated that Nnaji did not complete his studies and was never issued a certificate. Now, further questions have also been raised about the authenticity of his NYSC certificate, which reportedly contains discrepancies in dates and signature. Premium Times investigative journalist Chinagorom Ugwu joins us this morning. Chinagorom, it's so good to have you, and thank you for joining us.
Good morning. Thanks for having me.
Thank you so much once again. Now, we understand that we can't disclose your identity or your location for security reasons, but we're here for the content of your high-profile investigation. Could you begin by telling us what prompted your investigation into the background of Minister Nnaji?
Okay, thanks so much. Of course, is a public knowledge that Premium Times is an accountability journalism platform that seeks to hold institutions and individuals, particularly public individuals, accountable. So it is in our DNA to conduct investigations into institutions and individuals to correct some ills in the society, because our job is to just serve as watchdog for the society. So essentially, it is just in line with the paper's ideology and vision and mission.
All right. So we understand that you have been on this matter for 2 years, and your 2-year investigation has led to what you have drawn to be the conclusion today. Could you walk us through this investigation and the different steps along the way? Because many people are asking how credible the investigation was. They are wondering what motivated the investigation, among other things. Could you bring us up to speed on all of the developments in this investigation?
Okay, I do not think that there is anything confusing about the investigation, because all the institutions involved in the certificates have all spoken up on this. And so I do not think that there is a question as to the genuinity or otherwise of the investigation or the authenticity of the investigation. First is that, like you rightly said, this investigation began in 2023 when we received, just like I told you, because Nigerians and even or many other people even outside Nigeria understand the ideology and what the paper sets out, the goal of the paper, the vision, the mission, which is to hold individuals accountable. So it is in line with this that we receive, people gave us some hints that look that the certificates about this individual appears to be fake, that in line with what we are known for, we should beam a satellite on the certificates to be able to unravel what appear to be inconsistencies or discrepancies in the certificates that the minister paraded and submitted to various Nigerian authorities. So in line with the tip-off, we began our field work, and and then first was that we brought the certificates, the suspicious NYSC and degree certificates, and of course subjected it to forensic analysis. And then our findings indicated that the documents must have been forged because of the findings we made. So first was that we were able to notice that the NYSC certificate, for instance, was dated 15th May 1986, and it bore the signature of a man known as Sean Primo, and that he was an army colonel that served as the head of the NYSC between January 1988 and December 1990. So we believe that this is impossible. It is impossible for this fellow to have signed Mr. Nnaji's certificate on 15 May 1986, which was 18 months before his appointment to that office. And so that was the first discrepancy that we observed in the certificate, particularly the NYSC certificate. So the person who actually, our investigation showed that the person who actually served at the time, at the period that the certificate, the minister claimed the certificate was issued, was Edet Sapman, one colonel at the time. He served in that position between January 1984 and December 1987. So the individual ought to have been the one who signed the certificates, the NY certificate paraded by the minister. So, but then we also found another major discrepancy in the SNY certificate, which was the fact that the title designation of the head of the NYSC that signed the document raised concerns. And so in the certificates, the NYSC, the head of the NYSC was referred to as director. But then the CEO, the head of the NYSC at the time that the minister said he collected this thing, had not gotten to national director. It was still national director, but that it was still national director. That it was not national director until around the 1990s. So, but the minister claimed that the head of the NYSC identified him as a director, national director, which was yet to come. It was several years before that designation was introduced in NYSC.
All right, so this is a very important point you've made. So at the time this certificate was issued, according to your investigation, there was not a thing like national director. That this introduction of national director as a designation came much later, but somehow it's surfaced in a document prior.
Exactly. We also tried to look at certificates of at least 25 individuals, that NYSC issued between July 1980 to October 1990, and we also saw that they were all signed by the person whose designation was identified as director. So an indication that the certificate must have been for. These were some discrepancies that led us to begin to dig deep to uncover what we later found to be a clear case of forgery of the certificates.
All right. There are some people, Chinagorom, that say that the authenticity or not of a former student of the university should not, as a matter of fact, come from the vice chancellor. Because in your report, you pointed out clearly that the VC responded to your request for your FOI request. But you're saying that such clarification should come from the registrar and not the VC's office. What do you have to say to that?
Okay, first is that I think we indicated in our report that the first FOI request, I wish I had known, I would have sent you a copy of the first FOI request we submitted to the registrar of the university, dated on, it was the day I physically visited the university, personally visited the university and submitted the first FOI, which was addressed to the registrar of the university on 1st February 2024. 1st February 2024. They did not reply, and I made several visits to remind them. They did not also respond. At some point, they now asked me to make a payment of 50,000 naira for the processing fee, which I did. But then the response was also did not come. So we were now compelled to forward our FOI request to the vice chancellor in October this month, and so it was in response to that letter that they now responded. So my response is we followed the right channels and we did not get response. And in any case, the vice chancellor is the head of the university. So I am not aware if it's not permitted by any law in university not to release any document. But that is just more like diverting the issue. The issue is whether or not what the vice chancellor issued was true or not. If it is not true, that's where the matter should come. But if it is true, so the issue of who released, who issued, does not suffice, because that's not the bone of contention. The bone of contention is on the authenticity of the record or the document released by the vice chancellor.
All right.
So
two questions. Just two questions now. People who are faulting this entire VC's hand in releasing the letter and the rest are also asking why you did not include a copy of the letter in such a sensitive report. On a second note, there is another letter addressed to the Public Complaints Commission titled Request for Verification of Degree Certificate. And this was signed by the Senior Deputy Registrar Records. Could you clarify at what point this document comes in and why the letter by the VC to Premium Times was not published in the same report that the certificates were published?
Yes, we have already published the response from the university on that, and in another separate link. We have the editorial, the rights to decide when to include it or not. Of course, what we did is verifiable anyway, and we have already done that this morning. We have already uploaded the copies of that. So coming to what you asked about, when we sent the last FOI request we directed to the vice chancellor. The vice chancellor was responding and also said that this is also his response aligns with the response they gave to the Public Complaints Commission, which also submitted a similar request seeking to understand the issue, the status of the credentials of the minister. So they had already made that. That's the university's response to PCC. Contradicts the earlier, statements made by the registrar of the university, which had claimed that the minister actually indeed graduated from university. So it was to correct the earlier position that registrar made, that they made that to release that record to the PCC. And it clearly indicates, and that was made, the response, the university response to the PCC was dated May 2024. So a clear indication that, we had no knowledge of, it was just several months or maybe a year apart. So we are just trying to do our own, and maybe university already had a position on that, almost like a year or more ago, before the Premium Times got theirs from the university too.
Okay, Chinagorom, I have two questions for you. The first one is, Mr. Nnaji already in affidavit said that he, wasn't issued a certificate, right? So I would ask, does this affidavit and all he said invalidate your investigation? The second one is, from your
Come again with the question. You say it validates or validates?
Does it validate or invalidate your investigation? That's my first question. The second one is, did you get hold from your investigation what he submitted during his screening, in ministerial screening? Did you get that document? Hence, as they said, first living certificate could actually be applicable, right? Did you get that document he submitted during his screening? Because we know that forgery in Nigeria is a very big crime. Like in section 465 of the criminal code, it's punishable by law, and you can go in for it like up to 4 years. So these two questions: did you get those documents he submitted for screening? And the second one, does he agreeing to not having that certification from UNN validate or invalidate your investigation?
This is a very, the question is even answering itself. That the minister in the court affidavit admitted that he has not collected, he is yet to collect his certificate from UNN. Clearly shows that what he's parading was not issued by UNN and must have been forged. So, I mean, it clearly validates the Premium Times investigation. That's the answer to your
No, why I'm
first
posing the
question.
question is because of me asking you the second one, which is, did you get hold of the information, the documents he submitted during his screening? Because that could actually play out of the first
Thank
question to
you.
the second one.
Yes. My answer to your question is yes. We got hold of the 10-page document which this minister submitted to Senate and the House of Reps, like he submitted to the National Assembly for him to be cleared for the position of minister. So we actually got that. It was not. It was a very difficult thing. Many people refused to grant us, give us the document, but we finally got the document from two lawmakers
So,
who sent the stuff to us.
so what
So
are
we
some
have
of
a
the
copy of
documents
the
in
10-page
there?
document submitted.
The documents you got hold of, what are the contents of the documents?
Our interest in the document was that he claimed in document that he bagged a bachelor's degree in biochemistry and microbiology from the University of Nigeria, and that was our interest. And
What?
so we were able to compare it and see that what he claimed to have bagged, was faked.
So the document he submitted for screening was
So-
that exactly one.
Yes, 10-page document, sir.
Okay.
A 10-page document submitted for screening, which you allege contained this certificate that has now been declared, disowned by the university. I mean, it's scandal upon scandal, double-barreled certificate issues at this point in time. Chinagorom, was any explanation provided by the university in the course of your investigation as to why the minister, as reported, did not complete his studies? If this report proves to be true, what was the reason? Because I'm seeing conflicting reports that say that he was advised to drop out, that he did not pass certain courses. I mean, could you validate or invalidate some of these accusations?
Okay, so we when we were at University of Nigeria, the Nsukka campus, we tried to make sense of why this happened, and so we found that yes, although he was he was indeed admitted into the institution. In fact, he was admitted to study biological sciences. That microbiology was to combine
Microbiology and
biochemistry.
biochem.
Yes, and biochem. But he did not graduate because he failed some courses in the university at the time, and the course code, as we gathered, that he failed, and course title is virology with course code MCB 431 AP. And so the university made several attempts to get him to, but he repeatedly failed to attend several opportunities to rewrite the courses granted to him by the university. So the university at some point now get fed up with the way he was constantly being absent and advised him to withdraw. So we found out that, in fact, in May 1986, 1st May 1988, we saw a letter dated 1st May 1988, where he was pleading with the university authority to allow him to take another outstanding terminal course in September of that year, an indication that he could not have graduated in 1985 as the earlier claimed.
So he entered the University of Nigeria and Nsukka, the Lion's Den, in 1981.
Exactly.
Based on your investigation, at what point, what level did Minister Nnaji reportedly or purportedly drop out of the university?
Okay, from the course code that we are seeing, it does look like he could not graduate from 400 level, but we are not sure if he failed, because one of the courses he failed to pass was the 400 level course. So we suspect that his problem may have started even before that 400 level, but essentially he failed some courses more in that 400 during his 400 level in the university.
And the
So
microbiology and biochem, we suppose, is a 4-year course.
Yes.
Did they furnish you with information that the reason why they declined, all his attempt to receipt those papers, by the way, as he wrote to the institution in May 1st, 1986? They give the institution give you the knowledge that the reason why they did what they did?
I just stated here that the university was at some point fed up with his constant absenteeism.
That was way before he applied, and he wrote the letter he wrote to the institution.
Yes, he had tried to do that, but then he could not. He was failing courses, and then when he was presented with the opportunity to rewrite some of those courses, he continued to absent himself, according to our investigation.
So the question now, according to your same investigation, did Minister Nnaji possess a transcript? Did he have a transcript by any chance?
In fact, I guess that we did not. The issue of transcript became immaterial to us, since we were able to ascertain and confirm that he did not graduate in the first instance. However, we understand that there is a court matter now where he's seeking for the courts to prevent the university and even NYSC and all that from releasing his academic records. We understand that court lawsuit was intended to prevent Premium Times and perhaps any other newspaper from getting hold of his academic credentials.
A strong admission is contained in a follow-up report that you did. You said that the minister admitted to having not graduated and forging his certificate. I mean, that has been making the rounds as well. Could you just, from your own mouth, could you tell us at what point the minister admitted to having not graduated from the university? I mean, because many people assume that this statement came as a follow-up to your report. At what point exactly did he say that?
No, he said that in a lawsuit instituted recently, just about a month ago or so, around September or so. So it's not, I just told you that we understand that lawsuit was just intended to prevent people like us from getting hold of his credentials. He is seeking an injunction against the university and other authorities from releasing his academic records to any party. So that's what the suit, seeks to achieve. Although the courts did not grant that particular request.
I mean, this is a big one. I mean, we're looking at a scandal of such great magnitude that we've not yet seen in 2025. I mean, the Minister of Innovation, Science and Technology, neck deep in having failed courses as alleged and not. I mean, it's really, but Joseph, we have to acknowledge that there are people who are APC stalwarts who have been following the minister based on his credibility and, a lot of the things that he presents. And many of them are going to great lengths to discredit this report, to debunk this report, to question the motivations behind this report. I mean, what do you have to say to that? People who do not believe that this report was handled and carried out professionally, even asking parties to sue as a result of the findings of this report.
Okay, like I just said, the institutions that I am not sure I informed you that even NYSC, we wrote to NYSC and they confirmed that the certificate, because in all of those FOI requests we sent to both the university and even the NYSC headquarters, we attached a copy of every certificate we intended to verify.
Right.
And so their response is saying that they are not aware. They did not issue this certificate and did not emanate from them. So, I mean, these are institutions that anybody can just walk up to and verify that. It's not, it's not made or by Premium Times. Premium Times only relied on the records by awarding institutions.
You stand by your story then, and you will defend your story at any point that it gets.
Of course, of course.
What do you think will be the fallout of this revelation?
Well, of course, why do we need to uncover the ills in the site? So that the right thing will be done, nothing else.
What is
so
the
that,
right thing? What's the right thing in this case?
Well, the role that we play is to just indicate where the things are not right, and so it is left for authorities to now act on it. Of course, what it means is that, it is even an indictment. Many observers have noted that it is an indictment on several Nigerian authorities, such as the Nigerian Senate and others, who are supposed to even make this authentication before clearing him as minister. So it's also an indictment on Nigerian authorities.
Right. Thank you, Chinagorom, for joining. The ripple effect is another conversation altogether, which we will have on a subsequent edition of the Afia Morning Show. Thank you once again, Chinagorom, for joining the show this morning. Pleasure to have you. And we'll keep our eyes locked, ears peeled. I hope I got the order correctly. And of course, we'll continue to follow you up as you bring us up to speed with the continued evaluation of this matter. Thank you once again, Chinagorom.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right, the morning show returns in seconds, and when we come back, we'll be discussing high-profile remarks made at a presidential visit in Afia State. Is Mazi Nnamdi Kanu's turmoil ending soon? We'll find out in moments. Stay tuned.